kind of player, like I always think that a player should realize his potential, and I've always realized that I know that I don't have as much talent, say, as another guy or some other players, but I feel that I can outwork any player, any guy that I have to play against. And I think that I would rather be a hard worker and have, not so much talent as to have a lot of talent and not be a hard worker, because I don't think you ever reach your potential.
Sometimes as coaches, both Coach Roberts and I, we try to tell the players and try to show them that maybe they weren't as intense as they should have been, and they think they were. And then all of a sudden they'll look at that videotape and they'll say, well, by gosh, you're right. We weren't quite doing the same things we did when we beat this team. I remember one game here, particularly the game where we lost when we got 79 points and they had 89. The fellows thought that they were doing the same thing, but then when they saw the videotape, the pressure wasn't as tough. We weren't moving the ball, getting the ball off the floor as much, so the intensity level wasn't as high as it was in the game Sunday. So this is what we have to try to maintain, and I'm sure the fellows, knowing that they only have one game left, they're going to come out and play as intense as ever. The only thing I hope is that they don't get too tight and too psyched up where they can't really execute.
Well, I'm just thankful, Gary, that we won the game. I made a play earlier against Reardon that could have really hurt us. He made a drive on a broken play, and I let him get a half a step on me, and he made a heck of a shot, and they called a foul, and that gave him a three-point play and put them ahead by one. And it could have been a telling factor in the ball game at the end, but fortunately, I got fouled on a great pass from George after he got a rebound, and was able to make the free throws. We had the lead, and I guess I could say the guy.
You were obviously very angry after that foul. It was pretty tough foul.
It was close, I just didn't know if I hit him. Evidently, the official thought I did. I was very upset with myself.
I mean, on the foul that Reardon fouled you, the one you won the game on.
Oh yeah, well, he could have grabbed me and prevented me from shooting, but he just shoved me. And when you're up in the air doing something like that, going full speed, you have no control of yourself. But it's part of the game, and I'm sure he didn't mean to hurt me.
Well, I'm happy how it went. Come back. Well, that's typical of the Warriors.
Jeff, this time the right combination was you and Phil Smith in the backcourt in the third quarter when you came from behind and finally took the lead. What were you doing out there that enabled you to do that?
Well, of course, we just the main thing we're trying to concentrate on is playing good, tough defense. Keep working on them, make them work extremely hard. With Phil and I in there, we do have somewhat of a mismatch inside with Porter because he has to guard one or the other of us. And so we do get some easy baskets or some offensive opportunities by posting him. But basically we're working hard on defense and hoping that we'll get some easy shots at the other end, which we were able to do. And it's mainly just go out there and scramble as hard as you can.
You must have remembered how the Cow Palace floor and baskets are because you hit some tough shots tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, yesterday was the first time I've been in this place in about 4 years, and immediately I fell back in love with it. It's a great place to play basketball. The hoops, the surroundings. I think the only problem in past years when you don't have a lot of people here, it's kind of a cold building. And tonight, of course, we had a great crowd here, and it's fun to play here.
You could hear them.
Well, we sure could hear them. I hope the roof's okay.
Well, Elvin is a great basketball player, and I didn't shoot well the first part of the game, and the law of averages was on my side, and I made a couple. So, I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not.
When Richie Powers called time and said, knock it off, you guys, what were you doing?
Well, Elvin was really trying to overplay me and try to play the passing lane, and I was trying to get myself open, and he was playing me pretty tight, and we were just kind of shoving each other. But, it was all part of the game.
You got his number now, though, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I just hope we win 2 more games.
You were up 90-84 with 3:53 left. Did you start to slow down a little early?
Well, no question. I thought the team did, and we were constantly trying to encourage them from the bench to get into our offense. I think what we did is we had specific plays that we wanted to go to, but I think we let the clock run down a little bit too much, and Rick had to end up pushing up a couple shots from a little too far out of his range, and we didn't have any defensive balance on the boards and things of that nature. So I think actually what we did, we celebrated a little too late. I mean, a little too early, and fortunately was able to work out. But tomorrow we'll watch the videotape and find out why, and then we'll try to keep our offense flowing rather than stopping. That's one thing great about our game, I think. It forces you to play basketball with a 24-second clock.
Rick made the 2 free throws that gave you your winning margin, and then you played great defense to keep the Bullets from getting a good shot in those final 23
Well, I
seconds.
thought it was probably the best sequence of defense that we had all year, really. But what we talked about on the bench was the one thing we didn't want to do is commit a three-point play or a foul man in the act of shooting, because now you almost give them plays. Remember, we had one of those against this team early in the year, and usually when you have 23 seconds and you're behind by a point, they have to get the shot up quick. In the event that they miss, they might get an offensive rebound back. So we knew that if they missed or made it, we had a chance to get the ball back. So it was just a matter of us not fouling. But I thought we played great defense down the stretch, and that was what enabled us to make them take maybe a little hurried shot than they would have liked to.
And again, you pushed the right buttons with Clifford and Derek Dickey out of the game with 4 fouls apiece. That's when you came back and tied the score and took the lead.
Gary, really, I wish I could say that was the reason. I'm no genius by any stretch of imagination. I think that we've just been very fortunate. We have some outstanding basketball players that they've been able to come in and contribute for us. And I think the only thing that I can give them is the confidence to play, and that's what I've given them. And they're doing the job. And fortunately for us, we're in a good position right now.
You're in a great position right now.
What I try to do, I've been saying this all year, when you're in a good position, you have to be very pessimistic. When you're in a bad position, you're very optimistic. So obviously right now, I'm a little pessimistic, and that team's going to know about it tomorrow at practice.